Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 183 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. About a month ago now, I was out and about at a cafe getting a coffee. As you know, I get my coffee black and I tip $1 to the barista. Make of that what you will, positive or negative. I'm not here to judge me. That's your job or your prerogative. And you know the B man, I like my coffee. I'm an addict to the bean juice, need that caffeine. That's why I was getting the coffee. But as I was there, seated beside me, adjacent to me, was a college, what were they? College lacrosse team, female. And I know they were lacrosse in a college team because they had their gear on, their jackets. It was a little cool out. And it'd be very, I know I am a creepy guy, but I'm aware of my creepiness. So I know it would be very, it'd be very creepy of me to ask them, hey, I notice you're all college athletes. What sport do you play? I eavesdropped. I saw their names and the logos on the jackets. That's how I knew. And I was eavesdropping on their conversation that they were having because I was alone. I often go out alone. You know what I think about? I should probably ask some friends of mine to go out and get coffee with me, but I don't. I'm a loner. I'm a loser. I'm a cheese doodle. So I listen to other people's conversation. I get more enjoyment listening to strangers' conversations than talking myself with a friend or somebody I know. I'm a weirdo. Make of that what you will. Again, that is your prerogative. But I'm there, and it's been on my mind. There was nothing. The content of their conversation wasn't insightful to the B-man, at least. But their presence has been on my mind the last month or so. It really has. I made a note of it in my note, my verbal graffiti notes. College lacrosse team females ugly, because they were all uglies. Now, they weren't unattractive because they were young. I don't know, 20, 21. So, they were all, like, you do it. But, I want to, it's not about, this is not about me and whether I would or not, or what. This is about them, and they're ugly. They're not ugly. The lacrosse team, that is, or at least the members I saw there, as it pertains to the rest of society. If you rank them with the rest of society, like all the women, all the babes in the world, they're actually very pretty. They're definitely, a 5 and above. They're in the top half and should be proud of that. But what I'm ranking them and what I've been, kind of what's been on my mind the last month or so is their ranking, beauty-wise, with all the other sports teams, female teams, that is, because I am a heterosexual man and I'm a misogynist. That's what I do. I rank babes in terms of their prettiness. I think that's what the definition of a misogynist is. But it was a fun thought experiment, and I haven't written anything down or typed anything out. It's been fuming. It comes and it goes. The thought, the ranking. And I think it's time we have to do it here at Verbal Graffiti. Let's do it. And this is not definitive ranking. This is the B-man and all of us here at Verbal Graffiti, just talking it out. Right? If I had a whiteboard or a chalkboard, I'd write, and we'd cross, we'd do arrows, we'd rearrange, we'd have fun with it. But this is just my mind. This weird mind of mine that's in the gutter, that's a misogynist. Well, these babes, again, rest of society, they're attractive. But when we're talking about college athletes, females, they're in the bottom half, without a doubt. And it's a very obvious statement. But when you really break it down, because when you think about lacrosse, you wear a helmet. I believe I know the men do, but I believe the females do as well. So if you're a part of a team that wears a helmet, you're probably not that attractive. And that goes for men too. Like if you watch football players, most football players are ugly, right? They have mangled faces and big noses, and it's just a lot of acne on their forehead because the helmet, all that sweat builds up there. So there was that with the some of the lacrosse players I was seeing too. So that acne on their head. So if you're an attractive babe and you're athletic, like collegiate athlete, D1 athletic ability, lacrosse is not the sport you're going to want to play. If you're mid or below and you have D1 athlete ability in your makeup, yeah, lacrosse, hockey, even softball, like those are sports where you're wearing headgear, covering some of your ugliness. Those are the sports you want to entertain. So generally, those are the sports where the uglies among the college athletes play. So I know, or maybe I don't know, but I do see a lot of the hot hockey players, especially like D1 hockey players on Instagram and social media. I'm dubious of that, though. Yes, those hockey players, the female hockey players are hot that I see on Instagram. But I think in general, like if you take everybody on the team, my guess is that more, like, let's say there are I'm not sure how many people are on a hockey team. That's not a sport I played at all. Let's say there are 20 girls, 20 babes on the college hockey team. I say more than 10 of them are uglies. I think that's a fair statement to make. So when you see like the photo of the hot goalie, like that's the exception, not the rule. So my bottom three, actually, you know what? Yeah, my bottom two, like the uglies play lacrosse and hockey. I think that's a fair assessment. The most beautiful, like the top ranking sport, and we're doing team sports here. We're not doing individual. Maybe we'll do individual sports in another episode. We probably will. Soccer. Soccer's number one. The hottest babes who are athletes play soccer. That's without a doubt. I think that they hold the belt for attractiveness. Those are the 8s, 9s, 10s. I remember when I was in high school, all the hot babes played soccer. When I was at UConn, all the hot babes on the almost all. It's like the opposite of hockey. Like the ugly babe who's on the soccer team, like she's the exception, not the rule. If there's, I don't know how many people are on a soccer team. Let's say there's 20. I'd say at least 15 of them are definitely fuckable. Are definitely a 7, 8, 9, 10 in the looks department. All have firm bodies, skinny. If you have a chest, it doesn't stop you from playing the sport. I mean, like, C or D or even heavier cups. So where some of the other sports, having a big chest can be a hindrance to you. So yeah, soccer, I think most of you would agree with me. Soccer is definitely the number one for attractiveness of female athletes. Soccer is the number one sport. So if you have a daughter and that's a sport you want her to play, because it probably means she has good genetics and will end up marrying a hot guy who does well, and your family genes will go on and prosper. So soccer's number one. I'd put volleyball number two. Yeah, there are some animals. There are some weird bodies on the volleyball team, but in general, I'm just talking height-wise. And we're just talking like aesthetics here, body. Like, so there are definitely like indoor volleyball players on the female team that are just weirdly shaped, that aren't feminine at all. But again, in general, if there's 20 volleyball players on the team, a good 12 to 14 of them are definitely fuckable. 7, 8, 9, 10s. And again, they're all tall. They all have great genetics. They're able to jump. They tend to have great hair, great lower half. So they come in like a close second. Again, number one being soccer. The third most attractive team in general tends to be softball, especially if you're down south in the SEC. I don't know when they're on in the springtime. It seems like all the softball players on the southern United States SEC, it seems like they all have BBLs. And they all have like long, straight blonde hair. And I know they wear the mask, but the pitcher's mask and the batter's helmet. But they're just in general, that's the body I like a short, not fat, but like a thick girl, with nice thick thighs that are muscle and an ass and a little bit of jiggle to her. Who's probably like 5'3" to 5'5". And they all have great skin because they're playing outdoors every day, so they have that great tan. And again, it's an acquired taste. I would not say the softball player in general is Barbie-esque, is traditional hot, but I think most of us Johns would agree. Yeah, SEC softball. I get down with that. I get jiggy with that. I'd pipe it. Yes, I would. So that's three. So top is soccer. The ranking from prettiest, fuckable to unfuckable is soccer, and then volleyball, then softball, then lacrosse, and then at the bottom is hockey. Those are five. Are there any other team sports? Oh, basketball. Basketball is a wild card of a sport. Basketball's a weird because there's usually two babes on the team that are out of this world. It's almost like they're not human. That's how attractive they are. They're unfuckable because they're so fuckable, if that makes sense. Like you go to fuck them, but you spooge before you even get close to them. That's how hot they are. So like they're unfuckable because they're that hot. Like they're too hot to get with inside of because you can't do it. They're too stunning. But then the other 10 are just gremlins. They're a TV dinner. That's how unattractive they are. But the two hot babes who tend to be the point guards, their hotness kind of makes up for the ugliness of the 10 other team members. So like basketball's weird. It's weird. Of all the sports, the basketball team might be pound for pound the ugliest, maybe even uglier than the hockey team. But those two babes, and usually the point guards and the shooting guard, are so hot that it will blind you from the ugliness that's behind them on the court or seated on the bench. And I think that's a fair statement. There was this babe I probably won't say her name, but she was on our high school team, and she was a great player, but just ugly. And she hung out with all the hot girls, but I felt bad for her because super good athlete, was part of the popular girls, but she was ugly. So like all her girlfriends were like having a lot of fun, with the boys and all that, with the attention they were getting. But she was getting attention because of her athletic ability, but not because of her attractiveness. So I never talked to her. I would like to interview her and ask her what her feelings and thoughts are about that. But I think that. So yeah, basketball is the wild card because I think how much it can sway. Like the ugly is super ugly, but the as we said, like the hottest basketball player is like so hot. She's unfuckable. So yeah, it's soccer, volleyball, softball, lacrosse, and at the bottom, the ugliest of the ugly are the hockey team, and then the wild card team, we have the basketball team. Let me know down in the comments what you think of those rankings. Am I wildly off? I should have done a writing exercise with this and really done the pros and the cons of each team. But just talking it out now, I'm proud with those results, that ranking. I'm happy with it. I'd debate anybody with that ranking, and we'd have fun with it. So yeah, that's my ranking. So if you were on your college soccer team, a tip of my penis to you. All right, moving forward. This comes from the subreddit, funeral shaming. Is it acceptable to not go to a funeral? Question mark. So my coworker's younger sister, who was in her late 20s, passed away, RIP. A backstory to show our relationship. I have been at my company for 4 years, and 2 of those years I worked strictly from home, and one of them I had a medical emergency. So you've been a shitty employee. Moving along. My boss had asked all of our group to go to his sister's funeral. I am just not really close with him, and I'm also a private person that just thinks funerals should be for people that are close to the person who passed or extremely close to the family who will be at the funeral. I just don't think piling in multiple vehicles and showing up is the way to go about it. I truly sympathize for him and will give him a card. Thoughts? Well, yes, the B-Man has lots of thoughts when it comes to this funeral that you're being peer pressured into attending. I agree with all your statements, all your thoughts and your opinions. You should not have to attend this funeral. I suggest that you do not attend this funeral. Yeah, you're being put in a bad position here because you're going to look like a bad team member if you don't go to the funeral and everyone else does. And you're not to blame. Your boss is to blame for acting like a high school basketball coach. All right, there's nothing coaches, like when you're younger and you're playing sports, there's nothing that coaches love more than when a family member of a team member dies, because they love having the whole team show up to the wake all wearing their jerseys. Like, that makes a coach's dick hard. For some reason, every youth coach in America thinks, well, if we show up to this wake as a team, that this will build unity. It will be a building exercise. It will become a better team for it. But not once have I ever attended a wake or a funeral of a team member's family member who died, and they start jumping higher or running faster. No, I bricked just as many jump shots as I did before the wake or funeral that I attended. So coaches got to stop with that. And that's what your boss manager is acting like. So he's got to stop acting like a youth coach and be a fucking adult. It is also the coworker whose sister kicked the bucket. He needs to shoulder some of the blame as well. Now, it's his fault for making a big dog and pony show of his sister dying. Big deal. Big deal. Your sister died. All right? Yeah, it's not... It's not your wife. It's not your daughter. It's your sister. Yeah, it's sad, but you don't keep it down. Keep it on the DL. Keep it on the down low. Tell your manager, hey, my sister died. I don't want to make a big fuss about it. Take your 3 to 5 days of bereavement like a big boy, like an adult, and don't involve anybody else, and come back a week later and people ask, oh, what happened? Then maybe you let them know. But you don't tell your coworkers or your boss beforehand and almost put the onus on them to attend funeral. So his behavior was out of pocket with the death of his sister, or his sister kicking the bucket. So your boss and your coworker, they're putting you in this shitty predicament, and they should shoulder all the blame, but they won't because they're the boss. Well, one of the guys is the boss, and the other guy, his sister just kicked the bucket. So no one's gonna shit on him. But everything he said, like, I agree with. Like, fuck that. You don't even know the bitch. And then I'm gonna have to carpool in a mid-sized SUV and sit in the back seat as Greg is spitting his dip into an empty Coke Zero bottle? No fucking way am I going to do that. So I am not going to the wake on a Thursday morning, nor should you, for any coworker. I even get the heebie-jeebies signing. We've talked about this. It's signing a card for someone who got sick or someone who died that I work with. Even that, like, I just sign my name and move it along to the next person. Like, the coworkers who write like an entire paragraph, fuck them. Send them to HR and get them out of the company I'm working with. Those are the worst coworkers. But so don't attend. Do not attend. It's going to look bad for you in the short run. Fuck it. His sister died. It's none of your business. You're alive and you're healthy. If anyone tries to shame you, tell them what you just said. Like, I didn't know the bitch. I barely knew the coworker. I work from home. I'd feel awkward there, and so should he, the brother, for me being there when I don't even know him. Like, if I was working in HR or I was your manager, I'd be like, yeah, I feel the same fucking way. Why do we all have to go to this? Why do I have to put on the one oversized suit I have to go to a funeral and then like, sit down in front of the casket and pretend to pray just enough so nobody else in line judges me for getting up too quickly? Because I'm not actually praying when I'm kneeled in front of the casket. All I'm thinking when I'm there is, how long do I have to lean here before everyone else thinks I did a proper prayer, and then keep it moving? But I'm not actually praying. I'm just staying there long enough, hopefully, where nobody judges me for how short of a period I was there. And I know I'm not alone. All right, I know most of you are doing that as well. So I'm calling out your kneeling as well. So hey, we're in this misery, forced to go to a wake together. But I agree with all your points. You should not have to go to a funeral and or a wake unless it's a immediate family, not even immediate family members, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, it's funny. I have been thinking a lot about funerals of late because I'm 41, the B-man that is. So I have a lot of older relatives, and they all live in different states. I have a couple aunts that live in the Carolinas who are getting older now. I think they're in their 70s, like late 70s, mid 70s, have some health problems. I got an uncle who's in his 80s in New Jersey, and I don't want to attend their funerals. I'm going to, much like yourself, I am going to be peer pressured into attending their funerals. Now, I love my aunts. Aunt Mary, Aunt Margaret, love them. Two of the best aunts you could ever have. But again, going to their funeral is going to be a nuisance to the B-man. And I know everyone at the funeral is not just theirs, but everyone at the funeral, most people, it's a fucking nuisance to be there. And now I'm going to have to travel to the Carolinas to go to their funerals. And when you add in flights, hotel, food, Uber, and all that, that's $1,000 for each of those aunts. And I got cousins as well. So I'm probably have to do this like 5 to 10 times over the next, I don't know, 10 years or so. So I'm dropping $10,000 to go stare at somebody in a casket who's already kicked the bucket. And that's not right. I think the general consensus should be, if you're more than 3 hours away from where the funeral is taking place, you should be exonerated from having to attend that funeral, unless it's your parents or your mistress. And your kids too. If you're fortunate enough to have kids and they've grown up and I guess you gotta go. If you're a parent, even if your kid's a little shit, you still got to attend their funeral if they die before you. I think that's proper. You got to go to your if you have an adult kid, you got to go to his or her funeral if you're the parent. But if you don't have parents, like even your siblings, if they're more than 3 hours away, text, text, emoji, maybe, not just over 3 hours away, unless it's immediate family and your parents or your mistress, you should not have to attend, and nobody should judge you for not attending. Like, I know myself. Like, when I kick the bucket and this is all over and verbal graffiti is kaput, and I shrivel up and I die wherever, I'm not going to judge you for not attending my wake or my funeral. Hey, your time is precious. You should not be wasting it on me. And I'm not going to judge you for not showing up. I'm going to be happy if you don't show up. I don't want you to have to waste a Thursday morning or afternoon sitting next to my casket pretending to pray. I don't, unless we fucked. If we have fucked, I would like you to come to my wake and take a pair of used panties and put them in my casket and or my urn. But the rest of you, don't attend. Your life, your time is precious. Don't waste it on me. Unfortunately, most people are fucking greedy and they want you at their wake and their funeral, like this stupid coworker of yours, stupid cheese doodle. It has been weighing on me though, because when my dad died, like over 10 years ago, my cousins and their entire families came, and we're not like super close. We hardly ever see each other. There's no bad. It's not bad relationships. We don't see each other often. They live their lives, we live ours. But they came to my dad, so that means I gotta go to theirs. And it's like, oh, I think can I send an email the first day of the year to everybody? I go, hey, hope you live another one. If you die, I'll have a drink for you, but I'm not coming to your wake. Is that? I think I'd be justified. This whole having to take 3 days off of work, and precious PTO days, and then awkward small conversation, and then you gotta smell the church and the casket, and funerals suck. We gotta come up with some system. Yeah, do not go to your coworker's funeral. Fuck, don't even get him a card. Like you're actually bullshitting me when you say, oh, you have a lot of sympathy for the guy. No, you don't. This is a burden that's being put on you, and you're frustrated that you're gonna have to finish his work while he's out on bereavement. So you're gonna have to double your workload because his family ain't healthy enough. So you don't have sympathy. You're angry. You're frustrated. That's what you are. And all those thoughts you have, those feelings are justified. And I'm right there with you. Let's go look at some photos. Episode 183, segment 2. Please share this episode or a reel that I make on YouTube and all those social media platforms, and share it with a friend of yours that's an ugly on a lacrosse, the college lacrosse team, or maybe they're a former college lacrosse player. Let's share this with all the uglies. All right, enough of that self-esteem out of the way. Oh, no, actually, let's keep it on to self-esteem. Now that we're talking about college athletes, I have noticed in my life that the frat bro stereotype is perceived as a negative, and I'm here to tell you, it's not. I envy the frat bro that was in college and post-college. Like the life of a frat bro, it kind of is perhaps the ideal life for a normal American guy, whether you're an ugly or you're a fuckable. Like the frat bros, you're in college. What? So you binge drink, you throw cake parties, you have socials with all the other sororities. You're the big man on campus. You're the party bros. You cheat on your exams. Once you're initiated, You haven't networked the rest of your life if you're one of the bigger Southern schools, and then you graduate, and it's just a continuation of being a frat bro in college, just not as intense with the partying. Or maybe it is, and you die out, you kick the bucket early if you get a addiction. But hey, most frat bros go on in life to work corporate America, sell insurance, some bullshit job, but they make, low to mid six figures. They get married to a hot or somewhat hot babe. They have a couple kids, pretty good genetics, use sports with their kids. They have most frat bros have a 401k, company match. They have an IRA, Roth. They have all the accounts. Life is pretty comfortable, not great, but pretty comfortable. They watch football on the weekend. They continue to booze. They continue to get drunk. Once they get to a certain level career-wise, they play golf 3 or 4 days a week to avoid the wife and kids, and they're doing business out there on the links. So it's a pretty good life, and people shit on them for wearing like the vest, right, or like that the quarter zip up. That's great attire. Super comfortable. It doesn't take a lot of effort. You can still wear a hat in your 30s and your 40s, like a baseball hat. It's the fucking life. The life of a frat bro is to be admired, not to be used as a slur. Give me the life of a frat bro over a non-frat bro every day of the week. Look at me now. I'm just a failing artist. If I was a frat bro, I'd probably be working for General Electric or I don't know, I read some health company doing some like marketing bullshit job and making $140,000 a year. Yeah, give me that. All right, come home, play some video games, boink the wife, couple days a week, little putt-putt on the weekend. Yes, let's do it. But no, I had to be an artist. Had to try to be a funny boy. But yeah, the frat bro is, it's the pinnacle of an American lifestyle. It's the best lifestyle you can live unless you're super duper talented, is to be a frat bro. So I won't be hearing that here at Verbal Graffiti. When I mention frat bros, I do it with endearment, and I'm not using it as a slur. And if you are using it as a slur, you should stop. Not because it's a slur, because that's not a group of people that you should use a slur with. And there are groups of people that deserve the slur that you give them or that you call them. We're not going to mention them here, but we are pro slur here at Verbal Graffiti, just not frat bro, because they don't deserve that title as a slur. All right, moving on. That made me sound very racist. When I say slur, I like using slurs comedically. I'm not gonna share examples here. Maybe I will in person though. But again, it's not the slurs you're thinking of. It's the more creative ones that I think of. All right, moving along. Let's move it the fuck along. All right, this comes from the subreddit fetishwantad. I visit this very frequently. Cigarette smokers plus jeans and flip-flops. Looking for a real-life and regular daily cigarette smoker female who would make a video of them smoking one or two or more in flip-flops like the cheap Walmart Old Navy kind and long flared denim jeans that almost completely cover the feet, high or low-waisted. Pretty simple, just looking to pay for someone to do what they do many times a day, just while wearing a relatively normal clothes combination. No nudity or anything sexual required. Could be the first of many of these for the right fit. Budget, $15 per cig. Cash App preferred. Careful, babes, I'm speaking to you. Be careful with this advertisement. This is a almost too good to be true. Everything this guy says is accurate. Like he's not asking for anything sexual, and that's what makes me dubious of the offer. If you're going to the fetish ads, wanted ads, and you're asking for something not sexual, like you're throwing us a slider. And that's why I want to warn all the babes who are watching right now, do not. I'm not actually, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're an adult, hopefully, watching this. And I can't tell you what to do. All I can say is be leery. They go into this, feet first. Don't dive. Just kind of walk down the steps before you go all in with this guy and what he wants from you. Because on the surface, this is easy money. Like, I ain't going to lie to you. Like, the B-Man, I'm thinking about putting on a wig, smoking an American Spirit, and getting $15 from this guy. This is the easiest money you're going to get on the internet. And I can't blame you if you're hard up for cash for accepting this offer. Because, I don't smoke, but for $15, I'd smoke a cig and wear some crappy Walmart flip-flops. I know exactly the ones he's speaking of. I'm thinking about the ones I used to wear in university in the universal showers or community showers. Anyways, so, I'm leery of his intentions, and I think his intentions are sinister. Because why does he have to pay you $15 to smoke a cigarette and flip-flops and a pair of jeans? Like, he could just go to Walmart or Old Navy or a gas station, hang out in the parking lot, and then he'll get that for free. Like, he has tinted windows. He can hawk his dick loogie while the baby's, filling her gas tank and smoking a cig. Like, there are a lot of trashy women out there who do that. So he doesn't need, he can just go to his local Walmart and he'll find 5 of those in the parking lot. So why is he putting this advertisement on Reddit? That has me thinking. And now that I think about it, this might not be a perfect comparison, but when I was in the 90s, sometimes my parents would bring me to the mall and there'd be like these modeling advertisers in the middle kiosk, and they'd be trying to get kids to model. Let's take beauty photos of your daughter. And my parents never did that, but some parents would let their daughters, take the beauty pictures, and they try to sign them up for the agency. But I think what happened with those girls is they would get the beauty photos, but then if they signed a contract, they would get sent to Dubai as a sex slave, and then the parents would spend the next decade trying to get their daughter back home in the U.S. So it's sign up for this beauty pageant, sign this contract right here. We'll make your daughter famous. She'll look beautiful. We'll put makeup on her. But then they steal your daughter from you. That's what this reminds me of here. Because he's looking. This John who wants you to smoke a cigarette and wear flip-flops. He's looking for a trashy woman from a trashy family with a trashy self-esteem. Because he knows. This is just bait. He knows if he gets you to do this, to just smoke a cigarette while wearing jeans and flip-flops like a normal outfit, he knows you have super duper trashy self-esteem. So if he could get you to do that for $15, you think it's all great. Within 1 or 2 weeks, you make an easy couple $100. But within a month, he's got you in Section 8 housing, taking puffs of your American Spirit cigarette from your vagina lips. It's going to be a very quick downfall before he has you doing satanic rituals, in his Section 8 housing apartment. Be careful. This advertisement is too good to be true, much like those modeling advertisers that used to be at the malls or agencies, that were at the mall. I wouldn't do it. Like, I'll be honest, like when I read it, I'm like, $15? Hell yeah. If I had Cash App, I'd do it. I have Venmo. I don't have Cash App. But and I'm not gonna blame you. Any of you fans of Verbal Graffiti who take this guy up on his offer, sorry, this John up on his proposition. But I'm warning you. I'm warning you. Like this is going to get sexual quicker than you would like, and go suck a fat one.